If you like what you see on the channel, please take a second and hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It really helps supporting the channel, and I can put out new content at least once a week.
Now, I wanted to revisit the cover. So, as you saw in the previous videos, I did do some tengujo paper repair off camera. And as you can see, there's a significant difference in color here. I'm gonna hold this up here. So I used a white tengujo paper. There is a tan tengujo paper that I have that I'm going to try next. I'm looking for the best color match overall. Now, you can see a little bit of color has bled through, so I really don't want to really wash this color too much longer. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get this wet again, remove the tengujo paper patches, and we're going to try with the tan tengujo paper. So same process as before. This has been washed already, so really all we need to do is get it wet, and I will show you this one was done with methyl cellulose, and the tengujo will come up right away, and I'll show you that really quickly here. So we'll go ahead and get this wet, let it sit for just a second, and see how quickly the color goes into this. The cover is highly absorbent. There's no sizing left in it. So when it's like that, it's like a sponge. It soaks up very, very quickly. Turn this light off so you're not getting so much reflection. So we'll just go ahead and work this around a little bit. And I have just a few places that I need to, that I treated, that I'm going to need to pull up, and this specifically is this area right here. So it's nice and wet, and I'm going to keep it, kind of submerged. I'm going to gently pull this paper back. Now we're going to go ahead and you see it right there. This tengujo paper just came right up. So when we talk about conserved versus restored, the biggest process with a conserved book is whatever you do to it must be easily removable. So there's the tengujo paper that I originally put on. I'm going to be very careful with this because this is that original cover tear. So I'm going to set this aside over here in the corner. We're going to put this put the Hollytex back over and smooth it out. The other places that I did the repairs were actually along the bottom cover here. I'm just going to gently roll towards there's a piece that came off. That one was just held on very lightly, so this is fine. We're going to keep this, we're going to retreat it. Okay. And I think that was about it. So this will get reattached. Don't worry about that. I was able to get the paper off, and now what we're going to do is close this back down, seal everything back in here, and we are going to drain this off. And I'll just go ahead and pour this off camera. Then we're going to do the same process that we did before. We're going to run this through the dry, sop it up, and then we'll try a new treatment with a different color tengujo paper. Okay, so the cover is here. We're going to go ahead and apply some new paper, tengujo paper. What I have here is 5-gram tengujo. Now, the way that we're going to do this, and the way you work with tengujo papers, you want to have rough, torn pieces out of this. So we are going to make a piece that will fit over this one area that's damaged. If you remember right from the previous video, this was completely folded over. It was a huge section in here. So what we're going to do is make a couple of little thin strips. And I'll hold this up to the camera where you can see this right there. It's a little teeny piece, and this is brown tengujo, as I said before. So, and we are going to use, you can use methyl cellulose, which I like just fine. It's nice and crystal clear. In this particular case, because it's the cover, I'm going to use wheat paste. And I use Lineco wheat paste. You can get this off Amazon. And you mix it with water. It does need to be heated gradually, and so you get a nice smooth texture out of it. And again, that's easily removable. So what we're going to do here now is I'm going to slowly peel back to where we actually have our tear. So I'm going to take a pair of tweezers, and the piece that I just tore, it has no rough edges, and I'm going to put this in the little tweezers. I'll hold this up, as you can see here. Let me put my hand up so you can actually get the focus on it. So we're going to lay this very carefully right on top of this tear. It should be virtually invisible. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take and dip my brush in the wheat paste. Now I have, this just came out of the microwave. This is, you can mix it up, and you see I have a lot of it. And you just put a lid on it, and it'll keep for quite some time in the refrigerator. So what we want to do is, right where we put it, we're going to brush outward so we get all the feathery pieces merged into the paper. And this will be virtually invisible once it's done. So that's that first line. And I'm going to go ahead and tear another piece to do that second line on the major tear. Then we'll take a look at it and see if it needs more. Now, like I said, wheat paste, I think, in my personal opinion, provides a stronger bond than methyl cellulose. Methyl cellulose will give you a little bit of a clearer definition. It goes very well with white. It will dry somewhat on the white side, as you saw before on what I originally removed. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this down right there, and we'll spread this out. Now, what we were looking for is not an amateur repair, but something a little bit more professional looking. Now, as you know, we brush outward, and we try not to leave any of the little bubbles that can come with the wheat paste. It is somewhat thick, which is where we want it. Now, when I took this paper out of the tray, when we just re-wet it to remove the old tengujo, I'm keeping it wet, and that's for a reason. This way the paper will get in there a little bit closer. All right, so that piece is actually done. That's how quickly this goes. So I'm going to carefully roll this back over, and what I want is for a good clean bond. Now, with Hollytex, nothing is going to stick to it. So we're going to go ahead and spread this out. I'm going to give it a little bit of squirt. This is just water, and that'll help everything smooth out underneath when it's done. And once it's dry, we're going to take another look at it and see how well the brown matches. I think it's going to match very, very well. Now, what we're going to deal with next is this piece down here. Now, this can be a little bit more challenging. I'm going to go ahead and peel this back nice and gently. Now, this was an old piece that was still clinging on. That's now loose. And again, we're going to take these tweezers, these little mini forceps, and we're going to carefully pick this piece up. I may need to pause this and get a paper towel to pull this up. Let's do that. Okay, so what I have here is off camera, I was fighting with this little piece. I was finally able to pull it up with a paper towel, and we're going to go ahead and carefully peel this back. And what we want to do is gently use the forceps and replace this piece where it belongs. Oops. And I have it upside down. There we go. Let's change hands here. As you can see, working with some of these pieces can be a bit of the challenging side. And being left-handed, it adds a little bit more difficulty. Oops, keep dropping this. I want to be very, very careful with this. And we want to be nice and gentle. And we want to carefully reinsert this where it belongs. Now I'm being very, very careful. There we go. I think we got a good match. Yep. Everything looks good. It's hard to tell that's where it belongs. Now, same deal. We are going to take a piece of brown tengujo and again shred it on the area that's going to be covered. Now, we're going to trim this off later. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this down nice and gentle right on top of this piece. And it's okay that it hangs over. I'll take some wheat paste and we're going to go ahead and again brush outward. Nice and gentle strokes. And we don't want to pull it, so I'm going to pull this towards the camera. And again brush outwards. You see where that big chunk just fell off? We just pick that up with the brush. Okay. That's about it. So we're going to, again, roll this back down like this. And I'm going to just gently roll my finger around here. And it's nice and smooth. That's not pulling anything. And now we have both repairs done. And the next thing we're going to do is move this to be dried.
Now the wrap is done from being in the heat press. It was sandwiched between two layers of Hollytex and a couple layers on either side of paper towels. Now we removed that. We have our dried book. It was heat dried under pressure, so there was very little contraction. Now when doing that, we're going to be very careful. Now the Hollytex, some of the wheat paste will soak into the Hollytex, however it doesn't bond to it, but it's a little bit stiff. So we take a scraper tool, it's a Teflon coated scraper tool, and we get underneath and we carefully chisel away at the spots on the inside. And then we flip it over and we do the opposite side just to release the Hollytex from the paper. Now, when I say chisel away, I don't mean hammer away at a chisel. We're just doing a gentle pushing action, getting underneath to break the dried seal between the Hollytex and the interior of the paper. You know, if you force too hard, yeah, there is a chance you could actually stab the cover and remove um, ink or sections of it, and that's absolutely not what we want. So when I say chisel away, I don't mean just like chisel chisel. So we just gradually and carefully just, I use a circular motion and just kind of gradually let the tip of the Teflon spatula just start lifting the Hollytex and separating it. You know, when we pushed down on it, when we had it wet, we pushed the Hollytex down into the wheat paste, and that caused a nice smooth action. That's which is what we want. It's flat. It's like a roller, and now we're separating that so we can take a look at it here. So far, I like how everything's turned out. Everything's going very smoothly. I like um, the look of everything here on the paper. Um, the tan tengujo paper, I think, is a better match for the light tanning in this cover. The white was just too stark white. This would be better off used on a fairly clean Silver Age book maybe, but I like the tan. It's just trying to find a happy medium. So what we have now is the interior cover. It looks great. I'm really pleased with the colors. The tear repairs are done. Um, and overall, it came out really good. I'm happy. The uh, the cover colors are bright. I think we have just the right amount of cleaning, and the appearance of the book looks great. So we're going to go ahead and set this aside. Then we'll get ready for the reassembly later on in a different video. And please join me for our next video where we're going to take this compression fold that was put in at the factory 80 years ago. We are going to unfold it and straighten it out. And as always, if you like what you see here at the channel, please like and subscribe. I try to put out a video at least once a week that's supposed to be educational and to help you conserve your comics and make your collection last for years to come.